So,
We live in a world
listen to this.
that loves to make excuses. We are skillful at the art of making excuses. Very often people know what they want to achieve in life, but when they don't achieve it, they make excuses. We know the discipline that we need to put in to achieve certain things, but if we don't achieve them, we make excuses. And so lack of discipline to do what is necessary to achieve our goals is what happens to us. And very often when you ask people, why did you do that? They say, no, I'll do that sometime. So people take a vacation, in inverted commas, to this wonderful fantasy land called the Someday Island.
Yeah, we definitely live in a world that loves making excuses. My name is Sandile Ndebele, and I think welcome to my channel. Yeah, so I think before I start, I've got a confession to make. I just recorded a 14-minute video before this, and using these mics, these DG mic minis, and guess what? 14 minutes, no sound. Oh my gosh, no sound. Very interesting, because I literally almost made an excuse and be like, nah, no, can't do this. I'll do it tomorrow when everything's ready. But I just learned a valuable lesson. Test your equipment before recording. Test your equipment if your equipment is working before recording. Like I said, my name is Sandile, and this channel is about a lot of things. But firstly, I think it was important for me to start making this video because I wanted to make content. I wanted to be on YouTube for some time, to a point where I've done it and I quit, and I did it again and I quit, because of not having confidence in myself, not having confidence in my articulation abilities or speaking abilities. This thing is very tough because it's very tough speaking to a camera when there's no one around. Sometimes you are just alone with your thoughts and you want to say something but you're thinking about something else at the same time. You know, you want to look at the camera but you're also looking at on the side because you feel like you are shy just looking at the camera. Because I am camera shy, but it's something that I'm going to be overcoming or trying to overcome throughout this journey. This podcast. This channel is about growth. Growth is about commitment and it's about mindset. I watched a video earlier on today and this person was like, just start, you know. And I think that's the most difficult thing to do, is to start. Denzel Washington's one of his commencement speeches that he did, when he said that, you know, it's very difficult to start. Without commitment, you will never start. Without consistency, you will never finish. And that's one of the most powerful speeches that I've ever heard. You know, I've heard a couple, but that one was very touching. But one thing you learn, you know, as you grow, is that this thing is very difficult. Even right now, I feel like I'm not saying something of value and I want to quit right now, but I'm forcing myself to still speak. And me being me, overthinking everything, I'm trying to remember everything that I said in the previous video. And I won't be able to say everything that I said in the previous video. You know, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to post that video after this video so that you can see, and I'll just write failure of that video, because I spoke a lot and I think I had a lot of things that I wanted to say, I wanted to take out, and I did. Unfortunately, that mic messed me up. Okay, but anyways, I think I I'm in a very interesting season right now. I'm struggling to identify what I'm really passionate about. I'm struggling to identify my me as a person, my own personality. You know, for the longest of time, I've started feeling like I'm an imposter even in my own life. Like I'm like, what am I doing here? And I'm really struggling because I don't know what to do. Or maybe even not say I don't know what to do. I think I know what to do because of the videos I've watched, books I've read, people I've spoken to, sermons I've listened to, that give you some form of guideline of what you should do if you are missing something in your life. And I feel like I've got a very big piece that I'm missing right now, and which is my own identity. And hopefully this journey that we're about to embark together reveals that who I am, you know, reveals what I'm passionate about. I'll try and, commit myself to experimenting and trying new things. I don't know if I'm gonna try everything, but I'm gonna try and experiment with new things. I'm gonna post this video, even though I might think it's not good enough. It's not good because right now I'm thinking about a lot of things. I think next time I might have my own script that I know what I want to talk about. But since this is my first video, I think I don't want to wing it going forward. You know, I want to really stick to what I want to speak about. And if I'm led to speaking about something else, you know, I'm going to allow the Holy Spirit to lead me in that. But mainly I'm going to try and, script the truth. You know, I don't want to pretend like I'm someone who I'm not, because at the end of the day, this thing is not about pretending, but it's about growth. And in that growth, it's about being the best version of myself. I don't know what that is, I don't know what that looks like, but striving to become better. You know, I've had a lot of scares in my life. I've had health scares, relationship scares, you know, profession scares. I've had fears, and I've lived with anxiety for such a long time. And for me, I feel like I'm in prison when I live with anxiety. It's a prison cell that you can't escape, because constantly you're just feeling that. You're anxious. Every little small thing that comes up, you just panic. You feel like the world is ending. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be in a position where I am afraid to do things because I'm afraid of what people are going to think about me, or being afraid of failure, you know, because I am afraid of failure. I've been crippled by it in the past, and for me, I don't want to be fearful. That's the thing. I don't want to live in fear of failure. You know, I've listened to a lot of messages. I've read books. I've listened to sermons, you know, where people speak about learning from your failures. John C. Maxwell speaks about failing forward. You know, Reverend John C. Maxwell speaks about failing forward. You know, learning from your failures. But that is so difficult. That is so extremely difficult. But that's the journey that I want to embark myself in. I'm going to commit myself to just learning more about myself. You know, if at the end of the journey I realize I am who I am, I'm going to be happy. You know, if at the end of the journey I realize I've grown so much, which I hope I will, I'm going to be very happy. But one thing I don't want to be is lying in my bed at a certain age and think to myself, I should have pressed that record button. I should have ran that marathon. I should have competed in that, powerlifting competition or whatever. I should have, competed in that Ironman challenge. I should have studied. I should have gotten that degree. I should have, treated my wife great, like a queen that she is. I should have. I don't want to live in the world where I should have. But I want to live in the world where I say, I tried. I tried to do as best as I can. That's where I want. That's what I want. To say to myself, wow, Sandile, you really tried to run that marathon. Yes, maybe if I failed, yes, you failed, but you tried. You committed yourself to do that, But this is the channel that where I want to take myself into a journey. I don't know what's gonna come from this. I really don't. But I'm really hopeful that it spawns positivity. Because at the end of the day, the worst thing that could happen is being rejected. For me, as long as I don't do sinful things here, as long as I don't do things that are going to discourage people, as long as I don't do things that are going to intentionally hurt or offend people, I think everything else that I do is going to be positive, for me and for the person that will find value in this. But yeah, my name is Sandile Ndebele, and we do live in a world that loves to make excuses. That's one of my favorite sermons ever, because it teaches me that I'm a person that loves making excuses about anything. Like if I fail at something, I automatically think of an excuse. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in a world where excuses is my name. No. Yeah, so let's see how this thing goes. It's just that even right now I'm thinking to myself, it's just so unfortunate that I messed up on the first video, and oh man, test your cameras, guys. Test your audio. Check and check again and check again before you press that record button, because you don't want to speak for 15 minutes alone and be discouraged by making such a silly mistake. But yeah, it's a journey. I'm learning, and let's see where it takes me. My name is Sandile. Check out.